Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Choking Hazard Podcast. We've got a great episode for you planned for today. Today, we're getting a chance to sit down with Professor Gregg King and Professor PJ O'Sullivan, just as they get ready for their super fight at Ace JiuJitsu Pro Cup. It's going to be an exciting matchup, and we're getting a chance to talk to both of them side by side as we go through a press conference. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to see more great coaches, athletes, and all these great new things about this new event coming up, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to follow us on YouTube. Today's episode has been brought to you by SpiritLeaf Waterdown, located at 64 Hamilton Street North in Waterdown, Ontario. If you're looking for Canada's top cannabis brand, look no further than SpiritLeaf and Waterdown. Over there, Alex and his crew is going to be able to help you out with all your CBD and THC needs. Just make sure you like us on Instagram and head up to the store. You're going to save money every single time. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you soon on the mat. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Choking Hazard Podcast. We have a great episode for you today because we are sitting down with PJ O'Sullivan and we have Professor Gregg King up in here. But we're actually talking about the Ace JiuJitsu Pro Cup. This is an amazing card, especially with Canadian black belt athletes, just Canadians in Canada, in Toronto, which is going to be happening on August the 14th. And we have two of the super fights that are the athletes, that are going to happen on the super fight card. So we're super excited to have them on the show with us today for more of a press conference, but then also talk to them about their upcoming matches up against each other. So gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Great.
I'm doing great too. So listen, by respect, I'm gonna always let Professor PJ talk first. So you go first always, okay?
Well, that's so kind.
So well, no, it's by respect. You know, like I was a white belt and he was already a competing black belt. So, you know, like I gotta give the respect where it's due.
Well, thank you. I'm just old. That's what I got from that. But yes, I appreciate it. All right.
No, we're the same age, pretty much.
The first trash talk has begun. So especially like how did this obviously how did this card come to play? I mean, what happened? Fernando and Jeff came up to you and it's like, hey, you guys want to have a super fight together? Have you guys ever competed against each other? I think that let's start there. Like that's an exciting question.
No, we haven't, which I've been watching Gregg compete for like a long time, and he's like, I don't know, his triangles and everything. I'm actually very excited for this match. He's someone I've wanted to roll with at some point, and then it just hasn't happened. So it's actually very exciting. At least it is for me.
Well, it's very exciting for me because he's a good competitor. He comes from a very good team, you know, like the Atos Mendes Bros, you know, very reputable. So, and I always like to challenge myself. Like I'm never interested in getting like easy fights or fights that I know I can win, or it's just gonna be like you know, not a big challenge. I always look for a challenge, and that's why when Jeff approached me first and he said, hey, would you like to go on the card? I was like, sure. And he said, and I said, okay, but against who, you know? And then he said, Professor PJ, and I was like, yeah, I'm down right away, because not only that, but I have a lot of respect, and I have a lot. It's not like fake respect. It's like I actually like really appreciate it. And I always wanted to roll and learn from PJ. I wanted to come to Hamilton at Pura. Just never had the time. We're super busy, and so it was a great opportunity to actually like get to experience rolling with Professor PJ, you know. So I didn't hesitate 1 second, and I know that we have a lot of mutual respect for one another. So we're gonna go hard. We're gonna go, you know, like for a real match. But before and after, it's nothing but love and respect, you know. So
100%. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm a little bit scared of him because I've seen him and I watched a little bit of his videos, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this guy is pretty solid, and his stand up is solid too. And everybody's telling me, oh, you got to be careful with this, you got to be careful with that, and he's like this and he's that. I'm like, okay, don't try and stress me out, let me just
you know, everyone's doing that to me too. Like, you got to watch this, I'm like, I'm just gonna do my thing, and just
we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun, you know. It's a 6-minute IBGF match. That's what Jeff and Gringo told me, and it's not a sub only, so it's finally something that you know, all the super fights that I've been doing are sub only, and this was like IBGF's competition style. So it's good because, you know, you don't have the same kind of level of stress or pressure to finish the fight, and it doesn't go to a draw. This is like by points. This is more technical, and this kind of format is exactly the format I was looking to compete in, but also to compete and challenge myself, and to prove a different type of strategy and technicality. And Professor PJ is very, very technical, and it's I think it's a great setting for our type of game and match. And I think that's
100%.
why it's perfect. It's not just sub only. This is competition style, and this is what I like, and it couldn't be a better matchup for that.
I agree. Like I think Gringo and Jeff did a great job. I think like they just said, "Did you want to be part of it?" I've said, "Of course, I'm honored." Like I didn't expect it at all, and then they said Greg has accepted. I'm like, fantastic. I think it's gonna be a great match.
Awesome. What are some other matches or things that stand out to you like on this card? Besides, of course, like the match of the night that we have on here right now.
The whole, you know what, I was talking just before with Aaron, the whole card looks so good. Like the super fights are amazing. I like the 5-man black belt challenge under 181, like how they have to fight each person. Like there's going to be some strategy there. It's so exciting. Like I'm very excited for the whole event. It's a great thing for the Canadian jiu-jitsu scene for sure. Like it's going to for sure raise the level and bring eyes to the community, which is awesome.
For me, it's the I actually really like watching Darson compete. So that match is going to be very interesting, and I competed against Kevin Wheeler a couple times, and he always got the best of me. So I'm like, I'm gonna watch this match like this. I'm gonna be like, okay, let's see how it goes now. Let's start, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun because they have different styles, but they're very competitive and very high level. So I'm
Yeah.
interested in seeing how their styles are going to clash. And Darson is very, very strong and
Yeah.
more pushing, constant pressure. He improved a lot. I rolled with him not long ago, and I competed against Kevin Wheeler, and I know it's gonna be an amazing fight. And Kevin's got those strong grips, and it's gonna be interesting to see how Darson deals with that, with the length too, with the length of Kevin Wheeler.
Yeah,
So
no,
that's the match.
for sure. That's definitely a good match. But like, as we were kind of saying before, I think this is a great opportunity just for like, again, household black belts that haven't necessarily had a great exposure to get the exposure that they needed, or haven't been able to have the opportunity to travel, but then to get that showcase so they can show their skills, show what they've been doing over the last 2 years, call it COVID, and be able to just kind of get on the stage and perform for people. And they didn't know how to do it before, but now they have it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100. Like that's what we were saying before, how there's no real bad blood on this card. Like everyone's so respectful of one another, and it's for real. Like finally somewhere to showcase like the Canadian scene. I'm so happy to be part of it, and I think it's gonna be a great event. And especially when I listened to the podcast you had with Gringo of his plans for the future, moving forward with the different weight classes and things. It's such a great idea. I'm so happy he's taken the reins with that.
Yeah.
I think the only bad blood on this card is between Gregg King and the 401.
No, the bad blood is between me and you. Always talking about the 401.
Why you got beef with me, man?
I set up a match with the 401. Whoever is the engineer for the 401, I would love to have a match with that person. But yeah, no, it's awesome. The thing is, what I really liked is like how professional they are, in the sense that they make people sign contracts, and they really want to push it. They want to make it look different. They want to show that they're more serious. And also the fact is that they're coming with different ways to push the envelope, and also like in the promotion. And when I talked with Jeff, and he said that this is the intentions that they have to grow it, to do it better, to eventually have it on not on television but on the internet, like streaming and whatnot, is high level, and it starts with the little things like signing a contracts, then people take it more serious, people see it on a different level. So that is the little steps that they make in the little details that actually will make a bigger picture, right?
So just out of curiosity, obviously not revealing like huge things about the contract or whatever, but what's the contract entail? Is it more just obviously for the fight, for the promotion, obviously not going to throw PJ off the stage, like those type of things, or like what's the stipulations of the contract?
I just signed where it said sign. I kind of didn't.
Yeah, I did pretty much.
Hoping that throwing me off the stage is not
yes
on.
to agree, basically, is what you did. Nobody reads those things.
He said, send me a picture, a nice picture, so that we look like WrestleMania kind of stuff. And I said, okay, no problem. But after I signed and I sent the picture, and after agreed, I read after the fine print. It says, if anything happens, then you're on your own, pretty much.
Fair enough. Okay, that's fair.
So PJ, please don't throw me off the stage, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's totally fair. Okay, so obviously, like, you guys have been preparing for these matches. Obviously, that's about a month and a half away now. So PJ, kind of like, obviously, without revealing a game plan, how do you kind of see this match going with Gregg? Like, how do you think you're going to finish him? You're going to finish him with points? What do you think?
To be honest, I really don't know. Like, that's why I'm so excited, because when I've watched like Gregg fight, he's always had like scraps and like different fights where he dominates. Like, I think it's just going to depend who can get their game going first, and like, it's IBJJF rules. Like, once points start getting scored, the person who's down really has to open up. So it's going to be a matter of who gets things going first, I think, and then the other person has to play catch up and kind of open up. But what I like about Gregg is he's someone who always goes for the finish, like, regardless. So it's going to be exciting. I'm actually very excited for it.
I agree. It's thank you very much for the compliment as well. Like, I totally agree with the fight. Whoever is going to be able to establish their position, their grips first, whoever is going to be able to play their game fast, better and more in time. But the thing is, I'm going for the finish. Like, I'm trying to get the finish. I'm trying to get the submission, because it's not even about the player I'm competing against, but it's myself, the challenge to try and make things work. Because I always put in my mind, the state of mind that I'm going with is like pass, control, sweep, and then submit. So that's all I have in my mind. Is like, that's the I want to go from stand up to the ground, control, establish my position, advance the position, and then finish the fight. And this is just for myself, but I'm trying to train in that manner. So when I'm going, this is the optic of the fight that I'm going for. And the submission has nothing to do with me trying to make a statement or an example, this and that. I'm going there. I'm doing this just because it's to prove myself. And also, I just want to, and this is the biggest point, I talked to PJ about this, is like, we're still healthy, we can still go and compete. So let's go all out, have a good time, and make memories from this. So this is really what it is. But if I lose and he taps me out or win by point, the love, the respect, everything doesn't change. There's nothing, like, win or lose, you got to be true to that state of mind and mentality. So I have nothing but love and respect, and I don't mean that in a cheesy way. So I'm going out there to finish the fight if I can, or to win, and I expect exactly the same.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. It's like, and that's what jiu-jitsu is like, especially at black belt level. One mistake and the match is pretty much done, especially 6 minutes. Like, it's tough, and we're going out there to submit each other, and I think that's exciting.
Yeah. And one thing is, I will say, the fact that we never trained and rolled with one another actually makes it even more interesting for me, because it will be like the first play for keeps kind of thing.
Yeah.
And from then on, it's gonna set and then because rolling is different, but competing against one another is another, like like aspect. And so that's why the fact that we never train is what is making this even more exciting for me. It's just to see, okay, that first feel when you're rolling with someone is like, oh, okay, and then you'll be like, all right. So now, and then you would go with a game plan, and then you roll with a person, and you feel the first grip, and you're like, okay, well, that game plan's not gonna work.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what makes this matchup so exciting, because you two have never trained together, rolled together, competed against each other. So I think it's why it's also good, because it's a fresh matchup that people haven't seen.
Exactly. And it's weird, because I feel like I do better in super fights than in competition. I don't know why. I think it's because when I compete, and this is the same with PJ, you probably understand that as well. But when we compete at the same time we coach, it's different, because we're so drained. There's so much thing going on in the mind that, like, I feel like I'm a 50% when I'm competing in competition, when I have students that are competing. But when I go super fight, it's all me. I'm going there just to do my job, to go out there for that one fight, put it all on the line, and just go and have fun, and just make it happen. you know. So I think that's why I feel like super fight. I'm more of a super fight. I feel like kind of guy than more competition. But I don't know, like, you know, this is also like it feels like it's a different type of super fight. You know, it feels like it's competition and a super fight at the same time. And so I really like. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, same.
I can't wait. You know, so I'm like, let's get it done. Let's get it over with. But I want to enjoy every process to it.
That's why we're doing this press conference, because now it's like the hype build, right? So we're getting a month and a half away. So like, we can't even say like fights next week. Like, you still got a month and a half of training still to go over strategy and kind of build off that. And again, like you said, like when you're doing competition, it's like, and again, as a competitor, you have to be selfish. So this is an opportunity for you boys to just be completely selfish for what you're doing to accomplish the goal that you want during the super fight, and not really have to worry about any other students other than your own results through the fight. So that's an exciting part. I think when you look at this card, and obviously the way that Gringo and Fernando and Jeff have formulated it, what do you think is like the biggest aspect that makes it bigger than, or even just like different from like a fight to win, or a who's number one, or any other super fight card that you've ever been a part of?
The fact that it's just black belt only is pretty sweet. So like, that's pretty fun. Like, even fight to win, you'll be turn it on, and after 2 hours there's still purple belts or blue belts fighting. Like, not most of them will kill me, so who am I to talk trash? But it's just the fact that it's all black belts. It's kind of, I think that sets it above other shows that I've seen in the past.
And what I like is all these organizations that you mentioned, if I'm corrected, or I can stand corrected, but I know they're all like sub only, mainly sub only. No, like fight to win is sub only, but they have some are points, I know. But at the same time, the fact that this is more points and not just sub only will not just focus on, you know, just going for submissions and draws. Like, the fact is, a true jiu-jitsu player, a true jiu-jitsu aficionado is looking for the strategy, the game that is more also points, you know, and people that don't understand. That's why it's catered to the people that don't really understand, or just want the fast jiu-jitsu, but they don't understand the intricacies of this actual sport, IBJJF competition point style jiu-jitsu. And so the fact that they're focusing on this is, I think, also what is separated themselves from the other sub only events, you know. And I think that's what makes it interesting, because we're going to see a different type of jiu-jitsu than you will see at a sub only event. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
Do you guys think that's missing? And because there's a, like, you know, like fight to win, who's number one, a lot of them are submission only, and then on the other end of the spectrum, you have the IBJJF events that, with, you know, like Greg makes a very good point. Is there some kind of like, do you think this is kind of like a middle ground with what Fernando and and Jeff are trying to do with Ace?
Yeah, for sure. And I like Professor Greg said, like, I do really like this rule set. I think it's great. Like, I know some people don't like the IBJJF, whatever, but I do think that having that points and that structure is good for jiu-jitsu. And like, even 6-minute matches like the AJP does, I find those matches are more exciting, and there's points there too. So I think it's a great card. I think it's gonna be fantastic.
I think the 6-minute mark is like a sweet spot, because it doesn't give you a lot of time to like mess around, but it's enough time to really make people move, compared to like, you know, a 10-minute match. Not saying these are bad things, right? But again, that 10-minute match of two highly technical individuals cannot necessarily move that fast.
Yeah, exactly. Like, like if you make a mistake in a 6-minute match, I don't know, my guards pass them in side control, I can't just play it slow to recover. I've really got to open up, which does make the match move. Like, you know what I mean? So like, literally one mistake is really bad. It's really bad.
It is bad, especially at the level, you know, like people don't see it when they see the high level go out there, and then like, oh, he lost, but it was so easy. And they don't understand that one little mistake cost everything, and it's just sometimes just a millimeter.
Exactly.
Inattention, a half second of inattention, it's gone. And that only opportunity, that window of opportunity you had, if you don't calculate at the right time, the right moment, and you weren't precise enough, you lose it all, and then it changes everything. That's why, you know, like, it's super interesting to see just a 6-minute match. IBJJF style competition is going to be. It seems like it's a short time. It's a long time as well, when you're in there and when you're trying to win. And also the fact that you have to use a lot of brain and physical power to try and keep that edge, because you know that it can go just like that. And so that's why you want to take as much control position and then work towards the fight, or just control, and to show that dominance in position, where even if you're on mount for 4 minutes and the guy in the bottom cannot escape, that's a tremendous amount of control and technicality you're displaying, even though if it's boring for somebody else. But for me, that's what amazes me, is that, with a guy who's trying 100% to get out, and you can't, and he doesn't get out, and you don't let him get out. That's what I like to see in jiu-jitsu, because that's really what it's supposed to be. So, this is going to be interesting, and 6 minutes is going to be quick. I want to push the pace. I want to go out there. I want to go. And that 6 minute, I want us to be drenched in sweat.
Yeah. 100 for sure.
6 minutes of work. So I think this is great. So what I'm going to, before we wrap up, so Professor O'Sullivan, official prediction for the match. Where would you see yourself being come August?
I see myself winning by submission. Ooh. I don't know what submission.
Okay, no problem. No envelope. You got to hand an envelope.
I got nothing. I just threw that out there.
You'll determine. And Professor Gregg King, same question, sir.
I want to do everything on my side to win by 2 ways: cross collar choke or triangle.
Nice.
Right.
Do both at the same time.
I just jinxed myself.
Official prediction: Gregg King is gonna get triangled or cross collar choke.
Myers, I like you when I don't see you, man.
Well, listen, Greg,
we're gonna be seeing a whole lot of me on August 14th, bud.
On August 14th, we're gonna be ringside. Oh, no. We're gonna be, and again, I'll be rewatching this interview at that time, and I will be pulling this into the actual play-by-play and saying, this is what Greg says he's going to try and win for. This is what Mr. O'Sullivan's going to win with. So I'm excited. This is going to be a great matchup. Definitely 2 superstars that are just going to push the pace through the entire match. I'm super excited to see this match. Mike, how about yourself?
I'm super pumped as well. I just want to give closing comments to both of you individuals. Sponsors, shout outs, anybody you want to thank before we wrap up here.
I would like to thank my family for supporting me, obviously, because I'm going to be training more now this summer. Show Your Roll is one of my sponsors, and everyone at Pura BJJ for helping me get prepared.
Absolutely.
For me, it's for my students, family, that help me and push me and there and support me and show a lot of love. Also for my sponsor, Matsuru Canada, awesome gear. The BJJ box and Leao Optics as well. So I want to thank them for supporting me and always being there whenever I need some stuff.
Ooh, I also want to thank Fernando and Jeff for putting this on.
Yes, absolutely.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thank you for mentioning it. I would like to thank them because it's not easy to put an event out there. It takes a lot of organization and set up, and so thank you guys, and also Choking Hazard podcast for doing this, because they're locals that are going international, and it's good to see. I support their grind. It's not easy to do what we're doing. There's a lot of more people doing it, so keep doing it because it's good, and you're also giving a voice to us. And you are also helping expand the knowledge and the awareness of jiu-jitsu throughout the different people, different community, and increase the interest for jiu-jitsu. So thank you.
We appreciate that. No, absolutely. And we just want to keep pushing you guys for sure.
Oh, and thank you, Professor Gregg, for taking this. I think it's really fun, and you're pushing me to get back into shape, so I appreciate it. So thank you.
And please, one thing, I don't mean this please don't take it easy on me.
Okay.
Don't
I will try not to.
Don't feel bad. Go all out, okay? I want to see it because it's gonna be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. I really want that. Thank you for the words that we talked to in private, and the words I really appreciate it, and I want to thank you in public as well. So I really appreciate. Yeah, you're a class act, and it's an honor. So thank you for letting me compete against you.
Awesome.
All right. So everybody remember, that's Ace JiuJitsu Pro Cup. That's August 14th. We have PJ O'Sullivan versus Gregg King. It's going to happen. It's going to actually be a really good fight. We're excited to see it. Thanks everybody for listening. We really appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, and don't forget, if you can't make the actual event, we'll be streaming it online. So it's going to be August 14th in Scarborough. We'll get you all the details located on the link. Thanks everybody. Appreciate the support, and we'll see you soon on the mats, guys.
SpiritLeaf, Waterdown.